Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today we're going to be talking about handguns in Battlefield 4 and hopefully future Battlefield games, what role they currently play, what role I think they should play, and perhaps a little bit about the balance. Now, I'm in a pistols only server, which you can find by typing in pistol on the server name search results if you're playing on PC anyway, and this one has recently been updated to ban the G18 as an available pistol, because when the G18 or 93R were allowed, that was pretty much all you were seeing in the kill feed, because they have a significant advantage over the other handguns in the game, at least for close to medium range combat, which, let's be honest, if you're switching your sidearm, that's 90% of the situation that you're going to be in. You don't pull out your sidearm when you see some guy 100 meters away, you pull it out when you're getting rushed and you've run out of ammo with your primary weapon and need something to shoot fast before you have time to reload. Now, of course, if you are an extremely accurate shot, you can take advantage of handguns like the 44 Magnum and get that one-shot headshot kill, which is a possibility, allowing you to lessen your time to kill, but usually you spend the extra bit of time accurately aiming to make sure that you get that headshot, whereas with some sort of full auto weapon or something that you would just kind of spam fire, you can start shooting right away and just kind of correct for your aim as the firefight progresses. Now, in Battlefield 4 and most Battlefield games that I can remember, every soldier always had a sidearm to switch to, which is something that is not as common in the actual military, at least in the US military. Now, you can have a sidearm if you're in the US military, especially if you buy your own or bring your own, but for the most part, they aren't issued commonly among standard infantrymen. Main reason behind this is that they will get lost during combat because you have to have a pistol holder where it can be easily accessible but also potentially easily lost if you're running around or jumping over things. And the other main reason is that handguns are designed for close quarter combat. I mean, sure, there's some marksmen out there that can be effective with them at further ranges, but the average infantryman and the average engagement distance is not going to be suitable for a sidearm, so it's not really a necessary item for the average soldier to have. Not to mention it takes up weight, which is pretty much the most valuable thing you want to conserve on your person when going out on patrol. So if you've got a sidearm that you never use and it's just taking up a couple pounds of gear on you, then what's the point in actually having it? Now, of course, there are those that are issued sidearms because of their special purposes, like fast room clearing. Sometimes the high-speed operators will switch to a sidearm because it's faster to do that than reload your primary weapon, and that makes a lot of sense. But for the vast majority of the soldiers, they will not be carrying a sidearm into battle. So every single soldier in Battlefield is carrying this, but it would be kind of interesting if maybe DICE considered an alternative way to sort of balance out or customize your kit, where you had the option to carry a sidearm, but if you chose not to, maybe you would get some other benefits. Because admittedly, outside of pistol-only servers, I don't use my sidearms that frequently in combat, only in real nail-biting situations, and they're not that common, so I would probably very much consider switching out my sidearm if it gave me some other kind of benefit. Now, Call of Duty has used the Pick 10 system or the Pick 13, whatever number you want to call it, but they've used a system where each item or each gadget you equip on your person counts for a certain amount of points, and you only have a certain allotment of points to use in total. So the handgun counted for like 1 or 2 of those points, and that would be kind of a cool way to do it in Battlefield. Now, I'm certainly not saying go back and change the way that Battlefield 4 is set up, but it's something to consider for future Battlefield games like Battlefield 5. Should every soldier carry that sidearm, or should we have the option to replace it with something else or give us some sort of benefit in a different area if we choose to sacrifice it? Now, playing on a pistol-only server after the 93R and G18 were banned from being used was pretty interesting because you saw a much bigger variety in weapons. However, I saw a lot of the heavy-hitting weapons like the 44 Magnum, Deagle, Rexes, anything that was doing 50 damage or more per shot. Those were highly popular guns. The Deagle especially, because it's got that larger magazine capacity than the 6-shooters and can also reload faster. So that's still a very popular gun, even though its accuracy has been affected a little bit. It hasn't kept it out of the running for being one of the more effective sidearms, and you have plenty of killability with that weapon, as in you can take down 3 enemies before you actually need to reload the mag. It's assuming that you're a pretty good shot, but even so, it's going to be a great weapon for engaging multiple targets. And as much as I was hoping that a pistol-only server would give me some good insight as to what the best pistol is ultimately, it's unfortunately a terrible representation of what situations you find yourself in the actual game when you need to pull out your sidearm. Usually you just need to deal with 1 or 2 threats maximum, which makes certain handguns like the 1911 very good in game because it's accurate. It can drop people very quickly, but it's really only good at taking out one player. Usually I'll run out of ammo before I have enough bullets to stop a second person. If I get 2 kills with one 1911 mag, then it's a good day. But it makes it still a very viable weapon in the normal game, because most of the time when I switch to that sidearm, I only have one additional threat that I need to be concerned with. In a pistol-only server, if you're running 1911 primary and you run into a whole group of guys, you're basically dead. Whereas if I'm running with something like an M412 Rex, which can one-shot people in the head, I can deal with 3 people with 1 magazine as long as my aim is good enough. So there's definitely much more killability with other handguns out there, and it's why a pistol-only server is not a good representation of what handguns are going to be best for standard game modes. I can tell you what handguns will be best in a pistol-only server, but that's a very, very specific situation. Now, as much as I love the large variety of handguns in this game and the different styles of gameplay that they offer, there are without question some that are just better than others. Obviously, the G18 and 93R are kings when it comes to close quarter massive damage output. However, they don't have that one-shot headshot potential, unlike some of the guns like the Deagle 44. That is got to be one of the best handguns in the game right now, aside from those 2 ones I mentioned, because it not only has a 8-round magazine, 9 if you count the 1 in the chamber, but it's got good hipfire accuracy. You can put a laser sight on there and absolutely wreck people. It's just got so much damage potential. It's really hard to compete. I mean, I love the M412 Rex, I love the 44 Magnum, but the magazine capacity in those guns just can't compete with the Deagle. Other runner-ups are certainly the Compact 45, which can 3-shot kill in close quarters and has a larger magazine capacity, plus a very fast reload. And if you just got to spam fire with a semi-automatic, any of the 9mm will suit you well. M9, MP443, they're all kind of the same with the 9mm, so just take your pick and have fun spamming away. Overall, every sidearm in this game is plenty usable, and it shouldn't make a massive difference on which one you pick, but if you are one who really likes to pick some of the ones that stand out from the rest ever so slightly with their stats, then the Deagle 44 is great, Compact 45 is great, obviously the G18 and 93R are amazing for close quarter combat, and the rest of them are pretty decent. The Magnum 44 is always going to have that special place for those longer range one-shot headshot abilities. Anyway, I know this video is a little all over the place talking about the effect of sidearms and whether or not we actually need or should have sidearms in the game. I think it would be cool to mix things up with an interesting inventory system that gave us some benefits if we decided to sacrifice them. As always, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap, signing off.